Hi, I'm Cortland Jacoby, and I'm with Punch Drunk Critics. Let me just formally introduce myself. I got to see the film back in January at Sundance,
Oh, great.
and absolutely loved it. It was one of my favorites of the festival.
Oh,
You play a 28-year-old youth group leader who is reluctant to return to his community after going on a mission abroad, which I know that dude very, very well. Talk to me about stepping into that role. Jimmy Simpson talked about or mentioned that the director Laurel had him watch Going Clear and reading a Jonathan Franzen novel.
yes, she had me doing the same thing. And Jesus Camp and Stop the Pounding Heart, this killer documentary, or it's kind of a docudrama almost.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Laurel had been immersed in this world for years prior to us, anybody getting on board. So she had a plethora of good, resources that we could draw from. And I went to a couple fundamentalist church churches with her, and I grew up partially in California, partially in Montana, and a lot of our family friends out in Montana are pretty Christian, and so I knew I knew this kind of guy pretty well. I had these this family who lived in the same valley. I worked with them a lot, and two of the brothers I worked with, they were so fun and like big brothers. They had such a excitement about life, and they knew how to have fun with nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an important part to bring into Owen. That was what I into the beginning, because not that Owen is at all similar to my family friends in
I would
but
hope they're different. Yeah.
yeah, no, they're the best guys. But that's I wanted to make sure that that it was believable that he was somebody that the whole relationship could unfold in the way that it did. And I also wanted to, bring to life that the way that my family friends talked about faith and worship was so exciting, and so kind of not pedestrian, but it was they had a very I don't know, disarming and earnest way of talking about it, that I wanted to just make sure that the way that Owen talked about his faith wasn't at all stereotyped or anything like that.
Eliza Scanlen is so mesmerizing in this film.
Isn't
Your
she?
chemistry together is so dangerously intoxicating to watch. And it feels so complicated. Talk to me about finding that dynamic and just working with her.
I mean, listen, Eliza could have chemistry with drywall, so I didn't have to do much work there. She's such a connected actor and creative. She has such a childlike imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's acting, it really feels and looks like there's never a dart or a flicker in her eye, like she is seeing some other reality other than the one that she's built for the scene. And when you're doing a scene with somebody with that much conviction, it's quite contagious, right? You get drawn into that. And so I think that I owe it all to that, that, and Laurel was really protective about making sure that we had a week of rehearsals before we started shooting. And in those weeks of rehearsals, we explored a kind of every version of each pivotal scene possible, so that we could kind of find our parameters of what felt like it was going too far, what felt like it wasn't going far enough. We wanted to find that razor's edge and just tightrope walk that.
Dance is such a fundamental part of the film and how sexuality and hypocrisy is betrayed. As somebody whose character is kind of watching this, what was it like to watch that kind of unfold and be developed as an actor?
The dancing portion.
The dance portions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was it I loved how Eliza performed those scenes, because you can really see the transition between her first dance performance and her second dance performance, and
Right.
it is subtle, But in that community, those subtleties can mean, the world of difference. Yeah. And so I thought that she explored that really well. My mom's a modern dancer, and so I grew up going to a lot of her dance classes and experiencing what that's like to, at first, be a male going to a lot of her classes. I was the only guy, and initially I'm like 14 and I'm embarrassed, and then eventually finding this total sense of freedom, and this total sense of abandonment, and of inhibitions, and so I think that it was really, really smart for Laurel to make that centerpiece in its tapestry of themes.
I think it's brilliant that it unintentionally connected back to your own life. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me. This
Thanks
movie
for the great
is
questions.
amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.